More than 2.5 million Ethiopian diaspora reside in different parts of the world, outside their home country. Out of them, few have begun participating in the ongoing development, peace and democratization process of their nation, creating jobs in some parts of Ethiopia. The federal government of Ethiopia has now started to establish various systems that would allow the diaspora to maximize their contribution to the development endeavors at home. As part of that move, Ethiopian Foreign Ministry has launched a new diaspora policy on June 15 to tens of hundreds of diaspora in the Addis Ababa Millennium Hall. The policy has incorporated best experiences of India, Philippines and China. Foreign Minister Dr. Tedros Adhanom has stated at the launching event that the new policy is intended to capitalize the involvement of the diaspora in the fight against poverty. He said concerned parties, both from here and outside Ethiopia, have deliberated on the policy before it has been approved by the Council of Ministers in April. Dr. Tedros talks about the fundamentals of the policy, both for the nation and the diaspora.
The policy is designed to enhance the involvement of the Ethiopian diaspora in development, peace and democratization process of the nation. The government is committed to work jointly with you to fighting poverty. The policy in this regard has a role to materialize your active participation. It encourages you to make constructive contribution. Besides, it helps maintain the rights of the diaspora. As you all know, Ethiopia is undertaking various development projects, including the Ethiopian Grand Hydropower Dam. It will not be cuter at all. We can realize that by working hand in glove. I call on all the diaspora to make every effort for mutual benefits.
In my opinion, this policy has included all concerns raised by participants. Even though the specific questions are not stated, they are stipulated in the policy directly or indirectly. I would really thank the parties who have contributed for the cause. It's a clear and smart policy. I believe it helps solve the challenge mentioned before. We shouldn't expect everything to get included in it. For me, the question is whether concerned government bodies would properly execute the policy.
We, the Ethiopian diaspora, usually come to our homeland to contribute for the actualization of the growth and transformation plan. But we encounter many bureaucracies from various institutions which are disgusting. What I strongly recommend is that the government should adjust its working systems. All policies and rules must be enforced without any barriers. Skilled professionals should be placed in the right place. As far as my knowledge is concerned, there are three basic problems we are facing in Ethiopia. The first one is cargo transportation problem, the second, poor system in Ethiopian revenues and customs authority, while the third is the banking system. In my opinion, these are serious problems that must be solved shortly. Concerned bodies need to investigate and solve them carefully. The government usually invites us to invest here in various sectors and contribute for the prosperity of the nation. But we can't invest or buy shares in areas like banking and insurance. I think this is not addressed in the diaspora policy, and it has to be seen critically because it concerns us all. Whenever we bring investors and voluntary medical teams to Ethiopia, the government has begun supporting us. It is really good beginning and we have to cultivate it. Every member of us has to work hard to materialize this policy. The message is clear. The government is calling us to change our motherland, and we will continue our support to development, peace and democratization. We Ethiopians should keep on contributing for the actualization of Ethiopian Grand Hydropower Dam project. We need to join hands more than any other time before to eradicating poverty from the nation.
The participants have also posed various questions to the minister. They said there must be a system to disseminate the right information to the community in the respective countries. Addressing the questions, Dr. Tedros Adhanom stated that all the problems raised by the diaspora would be solved by their active participation. The minister went on saying that he would take every question to concerned parts of the government.
The suggestions and the problems you have raised will be seen seriously. What I can assure you is that the government of Ethiopia is committed to work with you to develop our motherland. Differences in political, religious, or any other views shouldn't interfere in our unity on national affairs. The point is we are preparing a draft plan how to implement the policy. It is only when you actively participate that the main challenges will be solved, including the poor working system in some institutions. The diaspora policy has included the necessary direction in this regard, so you have to prepare yourselves to play your role in implementing it. From now on, inaccessibility of information will be solved by the new diaspora website that was launched now. We must be united on the national interests of Ethiopia. There are some who are attempting to damage our image. We need to fight them. The construction of Ethiopian Grand Hydropower Dam is useful to all of us. Let's strive to realize the project. We are more than ready to work together.
At the end of the launching, some personalities who took part in preparing the diaspora policy have been recognized for their contribution. Meanwhile, more than 200 diaspora have visited the Grand Ethiopian Hydropower Dam.
The Ethiopian government is currently undertaking construction of 10 new sugar factories in addition to expansion works in existing factories at Matara, Fincha, Chandaho and modernization of Wonji Shoa sugar factory. This would realize the vision to raise the 314,000 tons of sugar production in 2009 to 2.25 million tons in 2015. The Ethiopian Sugar Corporation is instructing its employees in the use of Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement by applying Kaizen's process and technology to improve production and leadership. With its current production capacity of 75,000 tons per year, Wonji Sugar Factory is undergoing expansion with the aim of reaching at 7,000 quintals produced per day. The factory has been implementing Kaizen philosophy to supply quality products in large quantity through improved technology. Members of the parliament representing various permanent committee headed by Deputy Speaker Shitai Mnale have recently paid a visit to the factory. Factory General Manager Atakilti Zagai talks about what Kaizen has brought to his factory.
Kaizen mainly maximizes creativity of workers, boosts behavioral change among them and helps save resources from wastage. When we first started implementing the philosophy, we didn't have enough space, but now that the bottleneck has been solved and we are making use of the philosophy, shortly productivity has increased to the extent that our factory could be taken model for others.
Local people are also benefiting from the philosophy.
The philosophy nowadays is being applied at a household level. We can take community policing, environment protection and sanitation are all the result of this philosophy. That means the community is benefiting more from it.
Thigis Degelo has been working in the factory as a clerk for a year now, and she speaks about how Kaizen has eased her work.
Previously, nothing was placed in an appropriate manner. For example, spare parts were haphazardly placed and had been time-taking to find them. But now, one can confidently speak how the philosophy saves time and boosts efficiency.
Wonji Hospital is one section of the factory visited by members of the parliament. I have talked to a patient who's been admitted to the hospital 5 days before.
The hospital used to face shortage of medicines, lacks tightness and wasn't equipped with sufficient human resources, but after the implementation of Kaizen, all of these problems are getting solved.
Sister Aberash Neguse also shares this view.
The training helps us in using resources effectively. Previously, it was difficult to get space for patients, but now there is health extension program that minimizes the number of patients coming to this hospital because the philosophy advocates prevention than curative service.
Head of the hospital, Dr. Gabeyo Haile, speaks how it benefits them.
Before Kaizen, our focus was only on curative services, sitting in the OPDs and treating patients, but not preventive service. Mainly curative service was focused. But now, after implementing the Kaizen philosophy, we have changed our attitude towards prevention. 80% prevention and 20% curative service.
Deputy Speaker of the House of People's Representatives, Shatai Mnale, seemed content with the achievements of the factory.
The factory is able to save space, time and resource. All of these are essential elements for developing countries like Ethiopia. If other factories do follow suit like Wendy Sugar, Ethiopia would definitely meet its grand economic plan.
In October 2012, Ethiopian Kaizen Institute awarded 3 private companies, Zenit Gebsted Ethiopia Limited, Maru Metal Industries and Kadisco Chemical Industries, as best models in implementing Kaizen. The Ethiopian government started advocating the idea of Kaizen, a Japanese management philosophy, among private and state-owned companies. The idea was first brought to the attention of Ethiopia's late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi in 2008. Subsequently, Ethiopia has set up the Ethiopian Kaizen Institute in November 2011 with the help of JICA, the Japanese foreign aid arm, which has developed a 3-year project to help medium and large-scale companies owned by both state and private business improve their management skills and productivity.